Welcome everybody to this lovely Hatha Yoga foundational practice. Today we're going to be working into some twists. Make sure you've got everything that you need to find comfort as we start practice today. Maybe that's padding for the knees, maybe it's a foamy thing like this, or maybe it's a blanket, a cushion. If you want to grab any blocks, any yoga bricks, or if you don't have these, stacks of books work really well. So finding anything that you need and making sure you've got a lovely blanket for our cozy Savasana at the end of practice. Welcome. Let's begin. So finding a comfortable seated position, or perhaps lying on your back if you prefer. Making any adjustment that you need to feel comfortable here if you are seated upright. That might be bending the legs. That might be stretching the legs out. It might be taking something underneath the sit bones. So finding comfort and then settling, transitioning into stillness. Allowing the eyes to close, the gaze to drop. Just tune into the breath. Feeling the weight of the body in the mat. Allow the breath to guide you, to create space in the mind. Let the hands, the arms fall wherever feels comfortable. If you'd like to take the left hand to the heart and the right hand to the belly, you can take that option. As we allow the body to transition into our yoga practice, let the breath be your anchor in this moment. And as we move through class today, breathing in, we find that stillness. Breathing out, we let go. If the mind wanders, come back to the sensations of the breath in the body. Allow the mind to close the door on what has been, and to stop the mind from reaching to open the door to what is next. We are just here now. Taking a second to scan through the body, whether lying down or seated, scanning from the crown of the head all the way to the tips of the toes. Noticing if there's any sensitivities, anything you need to take care of. As always with yoga practice, make sure that you take the options that feel good in the body, knowing that you have agency at any time to opt out of anything if that just does not feel nourishing for you today. So making sure you're taking care of yourself. As we move through our twists today, we'll be working into different areas of the spine. So just noticing if there's anything in the spine, maybe any tension. We hold a lot in the back. So allowing the breath to gently soften, to let go. And then start to deepen that breath for me. Inhaling, exhaling. Maybe one or two more breaths there. We're going to float our hands up and overhead, so finding that beautiful stretch through the body. Allow the hands to meet in prayer, gazing to the thumbs. As you exhale, let the arms fall back down. Inhale, float the arms up and overhead, gazing towards the thumbs. Exhale, float the arms back down. We're going to work into a twist now. So as you inhale, bring the arms up and overhead once more. As you exhale, twist towards the right side of your mat, allowing your left hand to come towards the right knee and your back hand to fall where it feels comfortable towards the back of the body. That might be further in, that might be further round, but we're not collapsing into that back hand, holding here in this twist. Breathing into the body. Maybe allowing every exhale to twist you a bit deeper. As you next inhale, bring the chest back to center, float the arms up and overhead, hands meet in prayer. As you exhale, twist the other way. Kind of imagine that you're this bottle opener shape, so you keep that length even as you twist to the side of the room. Just like before, right fingertips might come towards the knee, or if the legs are outstretched, maybe towards the floor. Keep that length in the spine through the crown of the head as you twist, maybe gazing over that left shoulder. Inhaling, exhaling. As you next inhale, bring the chest back to center, float the arms up and overhead. And allow the hands to fall. Nice. If you need a bit of release in the legs, maybe give them a bit of a shake. Maybe swapping the legs if they have been crossed, so switching to the other side, or maybe changing so you've got that block underneath you, or the legs are outstretched, so finding comfort in the legs. As you inhale, float the arms up overhead once again. This time, as you exhale, bring the hands towards the back of the head and then push opposite walls away. As you next inhale, flip the palms, bring the fingertips to the shoulders. As you exhale, push the front of the room away. As you inhale, flip the palms, lift the fingertips to the ceiling. And as you exhale, allow the arms to sweep behind the body, relaxing the head forwards. We're going to take that again. So let's inhale, float the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, take the hands to the back of the head and then push opposite walls away. As you inhale, flip the palms, bring the fingertips to the shoulders. As you exhale, push the front of the room away, really get the spine into that movement. As you inhale, flip the palms, fingertips come up to the ceiling, maybe the gaze follows. As you exhale, melt everything forward, sweep the arms back, allow the head to drop forwards. Nice. Slowly rolling all the way back up. Beautiful. So now we're going to make a few figure of 8 shapes with the nose, really warming up the neck. So just start to imagine that sideways 8 in front of your face. So imagine you're drawing that infinity symbol with the nose, allowing the neck to really move in a way that feels good in the body. It's not about what it looks like, it's about how it feels. So really keep that movement going. Slowing it down, maybe taking the movement the other way. Feels a bit of a challenge to draw that 8 backwards. Feeling again in the shoulders, in the neck, and then moving back to stillness. If there's anything I haven't guided that would feel good in the body for you, please take that now. Maybe a little roll in the shoulders, maybe a little roll in the neck. So allowing the body to be free, to listen to what feels good and to take that in your body. When you're ready, we're going to come into a tabletop position. So taking any padding that you need underneath the wrists, otherwise wrists roughly stacked underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. If this doesn't feel good in the wrists, take the hands about a hand pace forward, soften that angle between the wrist and the shoulder. From here, we're going to take a few rounds of our cat-cow. So as you inhale, allow the sit bones to go back and up towards the ceiling. Allow the belly to drop towards the mat. Finally, chest broadens, gaze lifts, coming into our cow position. As you exhale, tip the sit bones underneath towards the nose. Start to come into our angry cat, pushing the shoulder blades apart, chin to chest, gaze to navel. As you inhale, take that again. So always moving from the sit bones, so sit bones back and up, belly drops towards the mat, chest broadens, gaze lifts. Nice, beautiful. And again, coming in your own breath, rolling through the spine, feeling every single vertebrae, coming into that angry cat back, really feeling the palms, pushing into the mat, broadening out those shoulders. As you inhale, taking it the other way, always the head is the last thing to move. Nice, feeling into the body, feeling that motion in the body like a wave. And if there's anything else that you want here in this cat-cow, find a bit of freedom. Make this cat-cow yours. If you want to take a little wiggle from side to side as you move. If you want to come into your angry cat back and really swing into the shoulders, take those options. They are there for you. Feeling into the body. Just a few more rounds of cat-cow as we warm up the spine. Inhaling. Exhaling into our angry cat position. And then without rushing, finding that neutral spine once again. Great job, well done. From here, we're going to roll up into a high kneel position. So allow the hands to come away from the mat. Allow the knees to be stacked. If you want any padding under the knees, please do take that. We're going to swing the left leg round in front, so I'm going to take some padding under my right knee, so swinging that left leg in front, checking in for a second that the knee is stacked above the ankle, flexing into these lovely hip flexors, so tucking the sit bones under, lengthening that tailbone, keep pushing the floor away with those front toes. Hands can come to hips. If this is enough, stay here, hang out here. If you can feel that lovely stretch, tucking the sit bones under, that's where we want to be feeling it. Stay there. If you want a bit more, start to sink the hips forward and down towards that left heel. Stopping where it feels good. Remember, it's about how it feels in the body, not how it looks. Another option is to float the arms up and overhead into that wide V position. And if those fingertips are raised, use them to find length towards that ceiling. Lovely job. Holding here, coming out if you need to. Otherwise, really sinking down, feeling this. Breathing, inhaling, push the floor away, find that length through the crown of the head, through the fingertips. Exhaling, maybe sinking a bit deeper, beautiful. And then coming out slowly. If the hands were raised, take them back to the hips. We're going to rock onto that left heel. If you've got your blocks or your books either side of that foot, you might want to take them to lean into as we start to straighten out that left leg and bring the nose towards the toes. Starting to feel that lovely stretch down the back of the left leg here. Taking a few breaths, allowing the body to gently sink, dropping the head if you like, allowing the weight of the head to slowly pull you down, taking a little bend in that knee if you need it. These options are here for you. Make this pose yours. Breathing here. As you next inhale, rocking back onto the sole of that left foot. Hands frame that left foot, maybe wiggling those toes back in line with the hands if they've gone a bit far. From here, we're going to take a little twist, so pressing into that right palm. We're going to start to open up the chest to the left side of the mat, peeling back that top arm if that feels good, or placing the top hand to the hip or to the lower back. And what we want here is to really roll that left shoulder back and away. Really get the sense of drawing the right shoulder towards that left knee. Yes, lovely. Feeling it here. Again, only going as far as feels good. If you want to stay a bit lower, stay a bit lower. You don't need to twist further than the body needs. Feeling into that twist. Lovely. Breathing here. Allowing the spine, the chest to open to all that goodness. As you next exhale, allow the chest to melt back over that left thigh. Hands frame the foot once again. We're going to tuck the back right toes. We're going to pick up that right knee, pressing that right heel away. We're going to swing the left leg round to join it and come into our downward facing dog. Allow the head to drop. Allow the feet to pedal into the left heel and the right heel, pressing one heel away and then the other. Moving here, maybe looking under one armpit, maybe looking under the other. So allow the body to twist, to move in a way that feels good. Pedaling in the feet, feeling the breath in the chest. Beautiful. Really nice. Gorgeous. If it's in your practice to take a three-legged dog, you can take that option, floating the right leg off the ground first of all, and then holding here if that feels good, or allowing the right knee to bend and starting to open out those hips towards the right side of the mat. Bringing that foot down if it was raised, returning to our downward facing dog. From here, we're going to allow the knees to drop towards the mat. And we're going to sink back into our lovely child's pose. Now, if child's pose is not releasing for you, then pick an alternative, maybe lying on your back, finding something that's really grounding. Allow this child's pose to be yours. If you want to take a block underneath the forehead, you've got that option. Allowing the hands to come long down the mat, relaxing the head down towards the floor, or you can bring those hands towards the feet. That can feel really nice, really grounding, maybe coming on to one side of the head. Allowing the body to relax in this moment. Feeling the breath in the back of the body. Nice. Checking in if you're nourishing your body in a way that feels good. Feeling the weight of the body in the mat. Beautiful. Just one or two more breaths there. When you're ready, drawing yourself all the way back up into our tabletop position first of all. And then rolling all the way through the spine, allowing the hands to come off the mat as we come up into our high kneel, chest and head in that 12 o'clock position. We're going to take all of that on the other side. So this time, swinging our right leg in front of the body, taking the padding that you need underneath that knee. I'm going to come around this way so you can see me. So taking the padding under the left knee this time and swinging the right foot around in front of the body, checking in with that alignment, knee stacked over the ankle, pressing the floor away with that right foot, tucking the sit bones under. Imagine that spine is a big strong line and it's coming into the ground beneath us, starting to feel those hip flexors turn on. If that is enough, hang out here. This is great. You can take a few rocks back and forth, feel that in the hips, really tucking those sit bones underneath to feel that. If you want a bit more, hands can come to hips. Let's press the floor away with that right foot as we start to sink the hips down. Forward and down those hips will go, but we're not sinking in the body. So making sure we're still lifting through the crown of the head. Nice, nice. If you're feeling any pressure in that back knee, you can always tuck the toes under. You've got that option. Holding here for a few breaths. Allow the hands to float up if that feels good in the body. Lifting through those fingertips. Keep pressing the floor away with that right foot. Active in those legs. Beautiful. Lifting through the crown of the head, or the fingertips if they are lifted, allowing the gaze to follow and come towards the ceiling if that feels good. Holding here, breathing here, nice. And if you've gone too far, just rewind. No one's forcing you to stay in a position that doesn't feel good in the body. If the body is speaking, listen. Beautiful. Checking in that we're tucking those ribs in, keep tucking those sit bones underneath. And then as you exhale, if the arms were lifted, float them all the way back down to the hips. We're going to rock all the way onto the right heel this time, starting to straighten out that right leg as far as feels comfortable. Hands can come to the floor, or hands can come to the books, to the blocks, whatever you've got nearby to lean on. So pressing into those blocks or pressing into the floor, flexing into that right foot. Start to straighten out that right leg as much as feels comfy. Now this is a strong stretch. You might be a bit higher up. You might need a higher stack of books. So listen to the body. Keep sending that chest forward. That intention for your nose to touch that big toe. Maybe taking a little bend in the knee if it feels strong for the leg to be straight. Nice. Breathing here, allowing the breath to guide the body. Settling in. Surrendering to that stretch. Lovely. As you next inhale, let's press the sole of the foot back into the mat. Allow the chest to melt over that right thigh. Wiggle that right toe in so that the hands frame that foot. Tucking the left toes under. Allow the left knee to lift off the ground. Hands frame the foot. Moving into a twist here, pressing that left palm into the floor. Let's start to draw our right shoulder back and up towards the ceiling, allowing that top hand to float, gaze to follow, or hand can come to hip, or top of the hand to the lower back. Wherever you're landing, we want those shoulders to be stacked one on top of the other. Make sure that right knee is not coming on that journey with us. Right knee is still tracking forwards towards the front of the mat. Nice. Only twisting as far as feels good. This sense of drawing that left shoulder, it wants to give that right knee a big kiss. So twisting here. Tucking those back toes if that feels more comfortable for you. Breathing. Maybe playing with lifting the fingertips. Maybe playing with gaze towards the left hand. Options are all here for you. As you next exhale, let's unravel. So if the hand was lifted, bringing it back to the floor. Allow the hands, everybody together, to frame that right foot once again. Press into those palms. Lift the back knee up off the floor. Feeling that front foot really grounding into the mat. Feeling that left ball of the foot grounding into the mat. And let's swing that right leg back to meet the left, coming into our downward facing dog once again. Pedaling through the feet, releasing through the feet, twisting through the spine. Nice. Moving with the body. If you took the three-legged option on the other side, your three-legged dog, take it here. This time floating the left foot off the mat, either with a straight leg if that feels good, or allowing that knee to bend and opening that left hip out to the side of the room. Breathing there. Then allowing that left leg to come all the way back down to the mat. Everybody together, knees drop. Coming into our child's pose once again, sinking those hips back and down. If you want something underneath the knees as well, I don't have my blanket around me, but having a blanket underneath those knees can feel quite nice in child's pose. Sinking the chest towards the floor, allowing big toes to touch, knees to spread, giving that space for the chest to melt. Forehead in contact with the floor, or maybe one ear to the floor. Maybe the head is on the block. Lots of options here. Sinking down in the body. Breathing, checking in with the breath. Lovely. And if the head was twisted, drawing the forehead back to center, and then slowly rolling all the way up through the spine to come into our kneel position. Well done, everybody. If you want to adjust layers, grab a drink, whatever you need. We're going to be traveling up to standing now. So as we come up to standing, we've got lots of options here. We can either come through tabletop, swing the right leg forward, and then the left, coming into our forward fold. If you want a bit more activation, we can come through our tabletop position. We can tuck our toes underneath. We can lift those sit bones back and up into our downward facing dog, bringing the chest towards the thighs. And then stepping those feet in to meet the hands. Everybody melting forward into that forward fold. Pressing into the feet. Let's root to rise as we come all the way up to standing. Slowly unraveling the spine, allowing the arms to come on that journey with you if that feels good. Allowing palms to touch. And then drawing the hands all the way down into heart space. From here, I'm going to come to face the center, but for you, head to the top of your mat. Allow the toes to track forward in our Tadasana, our mountain pose, so feet are hip width apart. So on the short edge of your mat, you're going to inhale, float those arms up and overhead, hands meet in prayer. As you exhale, either swan dive the arms down the sides, out to the sides of the body, or draw the arms through heart center. Allowing the spine to be long and strong in our halfway point, and then melting chest over thighs as we come into our forward fold. As you next inhale, coming up halfway, drawing hands to thighs or to shins, or maybe fingertips grazing floor. Finding that lovely length in the spine through the crown of the head. Extend the crown of the head towards the short edge of your mat. As you exhale, melt everything down again. As you inhale, root through those feet, rise all the way back up to standing, floating those arms out to the side, allowing fingertips to touch, and then drawing the hands back to heart space. We're going to take that again. So let's inhale, float the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, swan diving those arms out to the side or hands through heart center. As we come through into our forward fold, melting chest over thighs. As you inhale, come up halfway. As you exhale, melt everything down. As you inhale, root through those feet, rise all the way back up to standing. Vertebrae by vertebrae, drawing those hands back to heart space. Nice job, everyone. Well done. Give a little shake in the legs. If there's anything you need in the body that I haven't guided, take that now. Maybe a little bend in the back, maybe a little wiggle in the hips. So feel free at any point to take whatever your body needs. Coming to the top of your mat once again, into our Tadasana pose, toes tracking forwards. Step the right foot back once, step it back twice. Coming into our warrior two. Right toes are tracking towards the long edge of your mat, the right side of your mat. Left toes are tracking forwards towards the short edge of your mat. Hips are squared off in the same direction as your right toes. Often our hips want to track towards our left toes. We're going to swing them around so they face the long edge of the mat. From here, take a deep breath in for me. Hands can come to hips. Draw that right kneecap up into the thigh. Legs are switched on. Then as you exhale, take a bend in that front left knee. Take a little glance down at that left big toe for me. If you can see it wiggling at you, great job. Otherwise, that knee might be rolling in. So just take a second to press that knee back. Keep lifting through the crown of the head. Make sure the chest isn't going on the journey with that front leg. Nice. Keep pushing into the outside edge of that right foot. Keep lifting through the crown of the head. Keep breathing. Maybe sinking a bit deeper into that front knee if that feels good. Option here for the arms to float up to shoulder height, palms facing the floor. Another option to gaze over those left fingertips. Keep sinking through those legs. Keep pushing the floor away with the feet. Keep lifting through the crown of that head. Yes, nice. Coming out at any time if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to hold here. So holding here for a few breaths. Feeling those thighs switch on. Keep lifting through the crown of that head. Nice. Coming out at any time if you need. If you need a little rest, straighten off those legs. Nice, everybody. Beautiful. Keep holding. Keep pressing into the outer edge of that right foot. Lovely, making sure we've got lots of lovely space between the ears and the shoulders, rolling those shoulders back and away. Nice. Inhaling. As you exhale, allow the left hand to come towards the left leg, bringing the right hand up and over the head. Breathing here, rooting into the outside edge of that right foot, coming into our extended side angle pose. If you have any blocks or books that you want to press the hand into, you can. If you want to come a bit higher, you've absolutely got those options. If it doesn't feel good to float the top arm up, take it towards the lower back, take it to the hips. Lots of options here. Again, we want to draw the top shoulder back and away. Option to gaze up or gaze down. If you want a bit of a challenge, allow the bottom arm to float off the floor. Allow the top arm to come up towards the ceiling, spreading those fingertips wide. Keep pushing the floor away with those feet. We're not collapsing into that side, we're lifting out of it. Nice, yes. And then windmill those arms all the way back into our warrior two. Straighten off that leg, give the arms a little shake. Beautiful. Really nice. We're going to come into our triangle pose from here. So feet are in the same position as our warrior two. If you need your block, grab that block and stack it on the inside edge of that front foot. When you're ready, we're keeping our legs straight. We're inhaling our arms back up to shoulder height. Feel like someone's pulling those front fingertips towards the front of the mat. They're pulling, 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 and then when you can't pull anymore, start to hinge those arms down like a seesaw. Left hand coming towards the left foot, right hand either coming towards the ceiling or again to the hip. So here in our triangle pose, our Trikonasana, again this is a twist pose, a standing twist. So keep pushing the floor away with that right toes, keep lifting through that left side, so we're not collapsing into the body, we're lifting. Hand can come to thigh, can come to shin, or it can float for a bit of a challenge. Feeling it in the hips, feeling it in the body, making sure that right shoulder isn't coming forwards, that right shoulder is tracking on top of the left. Option to gaze up, option to gaze down. Nice. Breathing here, feeling the space in the right side of our body. Maybe feeling a nice stretch along the hip. And then as you next inhale, take a bend in both knees and slowly bring the body all the way back up to center. Nice job, everybody. Heel toe those feet together. Take a little shake in those legs. Beautiful. And then take a little stance with the feet, so kind of wide but not too wide. Toes tracking out to opposite edges of the room. We're going to inhale, star those arms towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend at the elbows, bend in the knees, cactusing the arms, coming into our Malasana, our goddess squats. Lovely. Inhale, arms come up, legs straighten. As you exhale, let's sink back down again. Option is to keep moving with that breath. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to come back. Nice. If you want a bit of a challenge, hold with me. So if you're holding with me, just take a second to make sure that that bum isn't sticking out. We want everything zipped in, sit bones coming down, spine lengthening, pressing those knees against an invisible wall behind us. Nice. Maybe getting a bit of bouncing, feeling it in the thighs, feeling those glutes. Power up those lovely hip flexors. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten those arms. Nice. Everybody letting everything sink all the way back down. Take a little shake in the arms, heel toe the feet together. Nice. Get a little swing in the hips. A little stretch in the spine. Beautiful. Coming back to the top of our mat into our Tadasana pose. Inhale, float the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, coming into our forward fold, chest melts over thighs. Take a lovely deep bend in those knees for me, hands frame the foot. Step the left leg back. Option to drop the knee or step the right leg back to meet it, coming into our plank pose. This is an option, you don't have to take it. If you're taking plank, keep pushing the floor away with those hands. Keep creating space between the shoulder blades. Keep pressing those heels away. Beautiful. Holding here if this feels good, or allowing the knees to drop into tabletop and sinking straight back on down into our child's pose. Nourishing the body, doing what the body needs. Holding here, breathing here. And then everyone together sinking those knees down, sinking the hips back and down towards the heels, coming into our child's pose. Releasing everything, allowing everything to soften. Taking a few breaths in your child's pose. So make it yours. If you want some padding under the head, if you want to take the arms to the feet, the hands to the feet, then you've got that option. So make it yours. Breathing in our child's pose. Noticing the heart rate. As you next inhale, draw the body up into a tabletop position. Nice. Finding our tabletop. From here, we're going to sink down so the chest is in contact with the floor. You've got an option to take those hands about a hand pace forwards, tucking those toes under and coming down through a half press up, drawing the elbows into the sides of the body. Coming down to the floor, or finding a way to the floor that feels good for you. From here, allow the forehead to drop towards the mat. Pick up the right leg, press it back. Pick up the left leg, press it back. So feel like you're getting that length through the spine. Nice. Making sure the tops of the fingertips are in line with the shoulders. As you inhale, find some length through the crown of the head. As you exhale, start to draw the head up towards the ceiling. Coming into a little baby back bend or baby cobra. No pressure in the fingertips. Nice. Exhale, melting down. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, gently pushing into the fingertips. Drawing the head up into our baby cobra. Inhaling. Exhaling, melting down. Nice. Pushing into the hands, tucking the toes under. We're going to roll all the way through our angry cat. Spine into our child's pose once again. Nice. Melting everything down. Allowing everything to sink in that child's pose. 1 or 2 more breaths in that child's pose. When you next inhale, let's draw the body all the way back up into our tabletop position. Hands roughly stacked underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tucking the toes under. We're going to travel to our downward facing dog, so allow the knees to hover. As you exhale, send those sit bones back and up. Coming into our downward facing dog. Finding a bit of movement here if that feels good, pedaling through the feet. Taking that 3-legged dog if it's in your practice. And if you're taking that option, making sure you're taking it on both sides. Nice. Allowing the body to move. And then gaze to hands, gently step, walk, hop those feet together, coming into our forward fold. As you inhale, draw the body all the way back to standing. Arms come up and out towards the ceiling. Hands meet in prayer. Beautiful, everyone. Really nice. We're going to take that on the other side. So stepping the left foot back once, step it back twice. Coming into our warrior 2. Nice. Hands can come to hips. Pressing the floor away with the outer edge of the left foot. Bending into that right knee. Beautiful. Hips are squared off towards the long edge of the mat. Option to inhale, float the arms up to shoulder height. Fingertips pointing in opposite directions. Gazing over those front fingertips. Making sure that knee is tracking over the ankle. If the knee's gone beyond, maybe that's the body's invitation to take the feet just a bit wider. Nice. Making sure that knee is not knocking in. Pressing that knee back. Keeping the space between the ears and the shoulders. Nice. Drawing those shoulders back and down. Holding here for a few more breaths. Maybe sinking a bit deeper with each exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Coming out at any time if you need to. Straightening off those legs if you need. Otherwise holding here in our lovely warrior. Feel that warrior strength. Feel like someone's pulling your fingertips in opposite directions. Lifting through the crown of the head, sinking through the feet. Nice. Coming into our side angle pose as you next exhale, drawing that front arm down towards the front thigh. Top arm can come up and overhead, or to the back, or to the hip. So making that choice, taking those blocks in line with that front foot if you need them, or allowing that forearm to come to the thigh or maybe further down. Making sure that top shoulder is not coming forwards, but drawing back, stacking on top of that right shoulder. Gazing up, gazing down. Keep pressing the feet away. Keep pressing the floor away with those feet. Legs are active and strong. We're not collapsing into that right side. We're lifting up out of it. If you want to challenge, allow the bottom arm to float. Allow the top arm to float, feeling it in the abs, the side, the obliques. Breathing. Where is the mind? Has the mind wandered off? Nice. Remember, we're nourishing the body. If you've gone too far, if this is too strong, come out. You don't need to do anything that doesn't feel good. Yoga is the state of mind, not the shape we make in the body. Nice. And then windmilling the arms all the way back to our warrior two. Straightening out the legs. Give the arms a shake. Coming into our triangle pose. Legs are straight, fingertips pointing out in towards opposite directions of the mat, back into our warrior two arms. Imagine someone's pulling those front fingertips, allowing that hip to kick out. And then seesaw those arms, so the right arm's coming down, left arm's coming up. Again, if it's too strong with the left arm lifted, let it come to hip, let it come to back. I actually find having my hand on the lower back really encourages my top shoulder to come back, which is what we want here in our Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Nice. Remember, we're not collapsing into that side. Everything's switching on. Keep pressing the floor away with those legs. Keep twisting that top shoulder toward the back. Nice. Floating those arms for a challenge, or resting on thigh, or resting on shin. Breathing here. Keep pressing the floor away with those feet. Allow the breath to guide you to make that choice. And then gently take a bend in the knees as we draw the body all the way back to standing. Hands can come to hips as we press those feet together. Heel toe the feet together. Nice. Get a little bit of a shake, a bit of a wobble. Ragdoll the arms, the legs. Letting everything go. And then everybody taking a few hip circles. Nice little release in the body. Nice. We're going to start to cool down now, so finding our way to the floor. If you just want to go to the floor, no judgment, just sink straight back onto your back. If you want a bit more, you can flow with me. So coming to the top of the mat once again, our Tadasana pose. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, forward fold, melting chest over thighs. Hands frame the feet, deep bend in the knees as we step the left foot back. Option to drop the knee, step the right foot back. Option to drop the knee. Either coming through plank, doing our vinyasa if you know it. I won't guide it, but you can come through a vinyasa, do a little cobra if you want. Otherwise, coming into our downward facing dog, pressing those heels away, finding a little bit of motion. Option is to sink straight back into child's pose. And then everyone together, meeting in downward facing dog, dropping those knees. Big toes touch, knees go wide, coming into our child's pose. Melting everything down. Nice, everyone. Allowing everything to sink in the body. Maybe taking a little twist here if that feels good, just allowing the hips to wiggle. Nice. As you inhale, drawing back up into our tabletop and then swinging those legs underneath. Coming into our seated position. So we're going to take a little seated twist here. We've got lots of options in the legs. So first of all, everybody together, sit bones backwards, legs straight in front, flexing in those feet. We're going to bend into that left knee. Option to keep the foot here. Option to bring the left foot to the outside edge of the right knee. Option to swing onto the right sit bones, swing that right leg around, Sit bones planting down into the floor, coming into our lovely twist. So lots of options there. As always, if you've gone too far, rewind it back, take an option that feels good. If you are tucking both legs like me, making sure that both sit bones are planting down into that mat beneath you. Nice. As you inhale, allow the left arm to float up. As you exhale, allow the elbow to come to the inside of that left knee, twisting towards the right side of the room. Breathing here. The left forearm can drop down towards the floor, or you can keep pressing into that knee with the elbow, pointing those fingertips towards the ceiling, making sure we're not pressing too hard against that knee. It's a bit of a leverage point, so making sure that you're doing what feels good in the body. Making sure those shoulders are rolled back and down. Gazing over opposite shoulder. Breathing here. Maybe exhaling to twist a bit deeper. As you next inhale, bring the chest back to center, float those arms up and overhead. Take a little counter twist, allow the right elbow to come in to hug that left knee. So left knee comes into the crook of that right elbow, and just take a little twist the other way. Nice. And then back to center. Let's rewind these legs, so whichever option you've taken. If you've taken this option with both legs bent, taking that right leg straight first of all, then unraveling, taking that left leg over and allowing both legs to be straight. Nice job. We're going to take that on the other side. So right knee bends in, option to stay here. Otherwise, right foot can go to the outside edge of that left knee. Option to roll onto those left sit bones, tucking that left leg underneath the body. Again, just like before, making sure that you've got both sit bones rooted if you're taking that option. Remember, our sides can be different, so if this feels a bit stronger on this side, unravel those legs. So sit bones planting down, inhaling, finding length through the crown of the head, this time floating the right arm up as we inhale. As we exhale, bring that right elbow to the inside edge of that right knee, allowing the body to twist towards the left side of the mat. Gazing over left shoulder, right fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, or allowing that forearm to drop down towards the foot. Nice. Breathing here, maybe sinking a bit deeper into that twist with every exhale. Keep lifting through the crown of the head, not collapsing into that back hand. Lovely long straight spine. Feeling the spine like that lovely spiral staircase. And then as you inhale, bring the chest back to the center. Lifting the left arm up. Again, let's do a little bit of a counter twist. So allowing the hands to come to the other side of the mat. Just a little counter, not as deep. And then inhaling, arms float. Exhale, releasing back to center. Nice job. Unraveling those feet once again. So straightening out that left leg, unraveling that right leg, and lengthening the legs down. Beautiful, everyone, really nice. So from here, we're going to sink all the way onto our back. We're coming into our Savasana position. So if you want anything in the body instinctively, if you want any layers, if you want any cushions, pillows, blocks, bolsters under knees, blankets under knees, please do take that option. And then when you're ready, sinking the body down into the mat, give those knees a bit of a hug. Maybe rocking from side to side. Hugging those knees into the chest. And if there's anything that you need in this moment, please do take it. Maybe a little bit of a stretch in the arms, maybe a full body stretch. So taking whatever's going to feel good for you. Maybe a little twist in the spine. It's yours to take, so take those options if the body is calling for it. Nice. When you're ready, coming into our Savasana pose. So traditionally it's with the legs outstretched. For me, that's not really comfortable. I like to knock my knees together. So if you're keeping the knees bent, allow the feet to go wide to the long edges of the mat and allow the knees to knock together. One hand can come to heart, one hand to belly, or allow the hands to relax down the sides of the body in that lovely wide V position. Allow the eyes to close, the gaze to drop. Lovely. Start to melt the body into the mat. Every exhale, releasing, feeling the weight of the body. Allowing everything to be soft and letting go. Feeling the chest melt into the mat. Maybe feeling the belly rise with each inhale and soften completely with each exhale. Letting go of any tension in the neck, the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands, even the fingers. Maybe even scrunching into fists and then relaxing totally. Allow the line between your spine and the mat to blur. Allow the pelvis to be heavy and supported. No tension in the legs, the knees, the ankles, the feet, the toes. Letting everything go. Allowing the breath to guide you into stillness. This beautiful residue which is left over after we move, but traditionally was all that yoga was. This meditation, this stillness in the mind. And if the mind wanders, just bringing it back with the sensations of the breath. The mind is only doing what it does. So without judgment, just bring it back to that cool inhale, that warm releasing exhale, softening everything, giving yourself total permission to just be here now. This stillness of body and mind, this yoga. The movement is done. That peaceful stillness space that we've created is here. Moving in just to a few moments of silence. Moving into just a few moments of silence here. Again, coming home to that breath if the mind wanders. And then gently bringing your awareness back to your body in the room. If you want to stay in relaxation in this space, pause the video here. Allow the body and mind to sink back into stillness. If you're moving out of Savasana, allow the toes to wiggle, the fingers to wiggle. Maybe start to hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe that full body stretch is what the body needs, so allow the body to guide you. When you're ready, rolling on to the left side of the body. Allowing the left arm to be a bit of a pillow for you. Bending those knees in. Taking just a few breaths here. And then gently pushing the ground away with that right hand. Coming all the way into a seated position, and keep those eyes closed, keep the gaze dropped. Doesn't really matter where you land, and then find comfort in that seated position. So even though we're not here long, still find comfort here. So maybe stretching the legs out, maybe putting a block between, maybe putting a block underneath those sit bones. And then settle here in our seated pose. As you inhale, draw the arms out to the sides, up towards the ceiling. Hands meet in prayer. Lightly press the palms together and draw a line down the center of the body as we draw the hands down through the heart center. Allow the thumbs to brush the forehead on the way, the nose, the lips. Finally landing in heart space as we bow and say namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I wish you a beautiful day, a beautiful evening, a beautiful week. I'll see you very soon.